So let's take a look and see for May 31st what we're looking like going into June. Lots of Mercury retrograde energy. Every single one of my electronics did itself a little reset. I mean, everything. The doorbell, my Alexa, my Wi-Fi, even the light bulb on my habitat for my snake went wonky. And the light went out, and the light bulb, like the mechanism itself to turn the light on, is not working. And my car's in the shop. So hello, Mercury. Let's see what's going on for you, Scorpio. Let's pull some cards and see where you sit in this beautiful little energy. Let me make sure I have sound here. All right. Yes, we do. All right, here we go. King of Wands. Ten of Swords. So Ten of Swords is our indicator for feeling stuck. It's also feeling a little bit betrayed. We've got the Hermit card for isolation, and you also have the Ten of Wands. So how this looks, and I hope you guys like my new deck. I have the Gilded Tarot, Cairo Marchetti, one of my favorite artists. But look here. So we have the Ten of Swords. This is betrayal. It's feeling as if there's too many things on your back. Kind of like what I was talking about. One more thing. Feeling like a victim, right? Especially did when my car went back in the shop. But so this is Ten of Swords. It means so many items, or that, and sometimes it feels like someone has deliberately done something like that. We may feel like we're a little degraded right now. We've got the King of Wands, which is our card that has to do with you being like, you know, in management, working, and leadership. But we have that Ten of Swords, which feels like betrayal, or feeling like sometimes the Ten of Swords can feel restricted. Like it would be the card for jail. So if somebody went to jail, this usually has swords all the way around them and surrounding them. And the Ten of Swords is about feeling restricted. So if you feel like your actions, activities, projects, etc. are feeling blocked, it's definitely that kind of sensation. We have the Page of Wands. So we're going from the King of Wands into the Page of Wands, where it feels like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like everything I'm normally doing doesn't act or feel right. And it almost feels as if, you know, we're starting over, or we're feeling like, you know, we're new to this, or we're making rookie mistakes, right? So I'm seeing the Hermit card. And here's how the Hermit card works. So the Hermit card references us going within, right? So when we meditate, think of the monks and that go up into the mountains and they take the vow of silence. They literally take time to go within. So the Hermit card can also indicate a sense of isolation, or feeling as if you don't have support, or feeling as if you can't talk to anybody around you. This is all followed by the Ten of Wands, right? So the Ten of Wands is somebody carrying more of a burden than they can bear. So we have isolation and weight, in addition to feeling as if people aren't supporting us with that Ten of Swords. Eight of Cups, this is giving us the sensation of walking away from things. If you look right here, we have the Eight of Cups, where he's leaving these things behind and moving forward into something new. Look at that full moon, right? So he's like, all right, good. You know, this party's over and I'm going to move forward. But here's the thing. You have the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is our card for new beginnings. It's our card for abundance as well. And it's, you got to think of the aces as a trump card. We have the Sun card, which is another the Star card. And the Star is all about hope. Also, it's about like keeping your head in the clouds a little bit. So maybe your ideas aren't coming to fruition, or you're feeling as if the things that you want to manifest aren't really coming forward in the 3D yet. And you're asked to use patience. Like the Hermit is all about awareness and balance. And so is the Strength card that's coming up next for you. So the Strength has to do with wisdom, right? So wisdom is the thing that we only acquire after a certain period of experiences. And what I mean by that, it's like, I met this narcissist and I'll never do that again. And you see someone else talking that same shit and you're like, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's a little bit of wisdom, right? Or, you know, believing people's stories without vetting the source or vetting things. So this is the Strength card. And it has to do with taking your traumas, taking your things that are in events that are happening to you, and using what you've learned in order to make better decisions moving forward. So the Strength card, remember the analogy, the parable of the mouse and the lion. The lion's roaring, and here comes the mouse and pulls the little thorn, and now they're besties, right? You also have another Ace of Wands. So you have another ace. So a lot of things might be shifting for you, and you're kind of feeling as if that sense is going on, but at the same time, you're feeling stuck. So we do have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. And next to these two is the Judgment card. Judgment card having to do with karma. Judgment card having to do with paying consequences, and not necessarily bad ones. It's like, you know, you plant a vegetable garden, the consequences of that hard work is going to reveal itself in the form of fruits and vegetables. So consequence and karma don't always necessarily mean something negative that's coming after you, but it definitely means that, you know, you're either using new judgment or good judgment, or you're utilizing that strength that you've had from the past and able to use good judgment. So judgmental versus judgment. So within this, you're trying to rely on wisdom at this point. Why are my comments not coming up? So wisdom is the biggest message for you right now. Like, make sure you don't make the same mistakes twice. So the Three of Wands right here is watching. So there's this boat, like he's waiting to see what's going to happen out there and how it's going to come in and what's going on with it. So this might even indicate social media. So you might be strolling through social media to see what's going on in your isolation and just keeping in touch that way. But again, we have a congruency for your reading right here with the Four of Swords. This is, I always call this one the Snow White card, because Snow White's off nowhere and she can only be talked to with the perfect environment, like the one prince, the one kiss, the one time. You can't talk to her unless it's magical, right? So this card right here is 3 swords down, 1 sword up, right? Or one kind of off. These are in balance, but then there's one that's kind of off. So this is a silence that's usually bred by like anger or depression or obsession or thinking things over and over and over again. And what ends up happening is we go into isolation. Now, it's no coincidence that you got the Minor card to the Hermit. So these are 2 indicators that you're pulling into withdraw. Now, it is absolutely beneficial to unplug at times and often. I mean, I do it often. I get overwhelmed, too many things going on, and I unplug so I can serve from a full cup. I've learned my lesson well, Strength card, about serving from an empty cup and tapping out before I'm ready because I didn't go in having prepared for the event. So this Four of Swords is either, I call this the ghosting card. So if you've gotten a reading from me and you're asking about someone and they're not talking to you, this is the card where I'm like, are they ghosting you? I see you're not talking to one another. So this might be an indication that you don't want to discuss what's going on with you. So you're keeping your ideas and you're keeping your business close to the chest and you're kind of not letting anybody know. Either that or you're feeling like others are silent around you. And it's because this is an element for your whole, like all of Scorpio, right? So this is feeling isolated, feeling silence, or maybe you're feeling as if the connections that are going on around you are not like communicating like they used to. And it's no coincidence, though, we have all this going on with Mercury retrograde. It's an upheaval time. We also have the lunar eclipse. In another week or so, we're going to have a solar eclipse. So this one in particular was about the Great Reset. It's a computer reset where you go in and you can reprogram things. So if we're feeling like things are brand new and the world doesn't seem quite in alignment, it's because there's shifts happening, right? So the end result card for you is the World card. So this has to do with faith. So not exactly the word faith. That would be our Hierophant card, maybe even a little bit like the Star card. But the Star card is telling us about faith. But the reason the World card is talking to us about faith right now is because the World card is letting us know that all things are in alignment, that even though you feel stagnant, unable to move and restricted, isolated, not like you want to talk to people, ready to walk away, ready to quit, right? Really drawing on your reserves. This is telling you to stand in faith, that things are going to come back into alignment. Now, remember, you have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. And what that tells us is that there is an amazing potential for new beginnings for you. And what I mean by that is if you think of the Ace as the pivot point, like there's, when in coaching, we call it the next 10, right? So now that you've got the house that you want, the job that you want, you get the house that you want. Now that you are able to finally get situated in your house, you want to focus on your weight or your relationship. It's the next thing you're working on. So the Ace of Wands is also about these new beginnings that are happening for you. So there's not exactly the Hangman, but more so hope. And that's indicated in our Star card right here. And if you see here, she has these 2 cups, one pouring into the other. And I was just talking about cups, filling your cup before you serve others, right? And so this is about finding that perfect balance, because she has to empty one to fill another, but she has this abundance of material to work with. One of my favorite quotes when people say we have limited resources. No, we don't. We have limited ingenuity because of all the different ways that we can come up with using things, right? So this is that element right there about using what you have and finding that balance. So you're not too wacky and then you're not too apathetic either. So let's take a look and see what your Divination of the Ancients card is. Wishbone, which is affirmation. So this is your affirmation that you're on the right track, to trust yourself and remember that, you know, to keep looking on your faith, your path of faith. So when you have an affirmation, this is stay in prayer. This is an opportunity for you to stay in manifestation and go into meditation, because this is all about affirmation. So what is it that you're creating? What is it you're blowing out the candle and wishing for? Or 1111 is telling you. So there you have it. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Book your one-on-one, karmaondeck.com. There are some classes coming up. If you're interested in doing the in-person events that are coming up, they'll be on the new moon and the full moon. We'll be doing drum circles, playing with poi, doing a little spin, some other little candle making and intention kits. So let me know if you're interested in that. The Tarot 101 class will be held in person in 1 week. If you're interested also in that, please reach out or find me on karmaondeck.com.